You ever notice how silence feels different now? Not peaceful silence, not the kind where you sit by a window and just exist for a second. I mean the uncomfortable kind, the kind where your hand automatically reaches for your phone after 3 seconds of nothing happening. We are connected all the time now, and somehow we've never felt this mentally crowded. Because there used to be boundaries. You had school, then home, work, then rest, conversations, then solitude. Now, everything follows you everywhere. Your work emails sit next to your family photos. Your friends' messages arrive when you are trying to sleep. News from the other side of the planet reaches you before your morning tea, and your brain never fully clocks out. That's the weird thing about constant connection. It feels exhausting in tiny, invisible ways. One notification there, a quick reply there, one reel before bed, one video while eating, one scroll while waiting for the elevator. Nothing feels heavy individually, but together, it becomes this constant low level noise in your head. And eventually, you stop noticing the noise because it becomes your normal. I think that's the scariest part. Not that we are distracted, but that distraction has started feeling natural. You can test this yourself. Try sitting in a room for 20 minutes without opening anything. No music, no scrolling, no multitasking, no checking notifications. Just sit there. Most people can't do this comfortably anymore, simply because our minds have adapted to simulation. We have trained ourselves to expect interruption. Every few seconds, something new, something louder, something faster. And when reality moves at a normal pace, it suddenly feels too slow. Even boredom feels threatening now. But boredom used to be important. That's when your brain wandered. That's when ideas appeared. That's when emotions surfaced. Now, the second boredom arrives, we eliminate it instantly. Waiting in line? Phone. Sitting in a cab? Phone. Watching something slightly slow on TV? And you reach out for your phone. There's never any empty space left. And human beings actually need empty space. Think about how many voices enter your head every single day. News anchors, podcasts, comment sections, friends, ads, algorithms deciding what deserves your attention. From morning to night, somebody is always talking to you. And eventually, you forget what your own thoughts sound like. That's why so many people feel mentally tired even when they haven't done anything physically exhausting. Because attention is energy, and modern life constantly pulls on that. Sometimes I think our brains are carrying conversations that never properly ended. You reply to a message, then another arrives, then an email, then a trending topic, then somebody sends a meme. Then you remember a video you watched 3 hours ago. Nothing fully leaves your mind ever. Everything stays slightly open, like having 50 tabs running in the background all day. And eventually your brain overheats. What's interesting is that technology itself isn't really the villain. The problem is that fiction disappeared. It became too easy to access everyone and everything at all times. And humans are not naturally built for unlimited social access. Just a couple of decades ago, your social world had limits. Now you can compare your life to thousands of people before breakfast. You can absorb bad news from every continent in under 5 minutes. You can witness arguments, tragedies, opinions, celebrations, outrage non-stop. And human nervous system never evolved for this level of exposure. And yet, we treat exhaustion like personal failure. We say things like, I need better time management, or I should be more productive. But maybe your brain isn't malfunctioning. Maybe it's overloaded. Because being constantly reachable creates a strange psychological pressure. Even when nobody is actively messaging you, part of your mind says alert. Maybe someone texted, maybe there is an update, maybe you missed something. That tiny state of anticipation never fully switches off. And over time, hyperconnection starts stealing depth from life. Conversations become shorter, attention spans shrink, moments become content before they become memories. Even rest becomes performative. You are not relaxing anymore, you are documenting relaxation. And I don't think we realize how tiring it is to always feel digitally present. There is this subtle pressure to respond quickly, to stay updated, to remain visible, to exist online consistently enough that people don't forget you. That's exhausting, especially because humans need privacy from the world sometimes and a space where your thoughts are unfinished, where experiences aren't shared instantly, where moments can belong only to you. But constant connection makes solitude feel almost unnatural. And when people finally disconnect, many of them feel anxious first because silence reveals everything distraction was covering: your stress, your loneliness, your uncertainty, your burnout. That's why many people keep consuming constantly, not because they are entertained, but uninterrupted stillness feels emotionally unfamiliar now. And honestly, I don't think the solution is deleting every app and disappearing somewhere. Most of us live online now, work happens here, relationships happen here, creativity happens here. The internet isn't leaving, but maybe the goal is rebuilding boundaries inside a world that removed them. Moments where your brain can stop receiving. Maybe not checking your phone the second you wake up. Maybe walking without headphones sometimes. Maybe allowing one experience to finish before consuming another. Maybe letting boredom exist long enough to hear your own thoughts again. Because peace probably doesn't come from escaping the world completely. It comes from creating moments where the world cannot constantly access you. And honestly, some of the best moments in life still happen when nobody's watching. A late night conversation, a quick train ride, cooking while music plays softly in the background, sitting with someone without both people reaching for their phones every 30 seconds. Simple moments feel richer when your attention is fully there. That's another thing constant connection steals: presence. You realize you've been physically somewhere but mentally everywhere else. And maybe that's why so many people feel disconnected despite being endlessly connected. Because connection is not the same thing as closeness. Access is not intimacy. And information is not understanding. Sometimes real connection actually requires fewer interruptions, fewer tabs open, fewer notifications, fewer voices competing for space in your head, just enough silence for something real to land. I think we underestimate how healing silence can be. Not empty silence, just some breathing room. The kind where your nervous system finally realizes it doesn't need to react to anything in the moment. No updates, no urgency, no performance, just existence. And maybe undivided attention toward your own life is becoming one of the rarest things. Because at the end of the day, constant connection promises that we'll miss nothing. But sometimes, while trying to not miss anything online, we slowly miss our actual lives happening in front of us. If this resonated with you, tell me in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.